All right, so March the 8th, 2024, following Friday, we're going to have Anthony Joshua versus Francis Ngannou. Now, when this fight was first announced, I was kind of like, okay, makes sense from a financial point of view, to be fair, for Anthony Joshua. But I was kind of like, okay, I'd make Joshua quite a firm favourite. The card is good, but I'd be making Joshua pretty firm favourite. All right. Now, the closer we've got to this fight, and the more I've had a look at both guys, I'm still making Joshua favourite, but I'm looking and thinking, okay, there's some intrigue there. There's definitely some intrigue there. I have got more excited for this card and this respective fight as well. Having seen the face-off, which I thought was very good. Also, the trailer for this fight, which is just, again, the Saudis really, when it comes to trailers, it's like everyone else in the Saudis. It's next level. How good they are. They're amazing. They really are phenomenal. They're incredible, really. And, Fury Usyk being pushed back, we might get another trailer for that, a different one, which again, brilliant stuff that they're coming out with. It's fantastic. But going back to this fight, the more I look at it, the more I think, okay, there could be things there that Ngannou could do from a technical point of view, or maybe even just from a physical point of view, that could see him potentially through. Again, I'm not picking him to win, but upsets, they come when you don't expect them. That's one of the reasons why they're called upsets. And me and many others would have Joshua favourite, but me and many others also had Fury firm favourite. And although Tyson Fury ended up with the win, and I feel deservedly so, at the end of the day, I went into that fight with low expectations of Ngannou, and he blew those expectations out the park. He didn't win, but he showed me, okay, you are better than I thought. And I left that fight thinking, God damn, only he'd been in boxing maybe 10 years earlier, where could he have ended up? There's a lot of stuff I like from Ngannou. They're saying that at the highest level, which is basically the level he's operating at, is it enough? Does he need more development? And again, he is in the back end of his 30s, so doesn't have that much time. But when I watch him, I think, okay, there's some things there. And there's some things about this fight that actually, for me, play into Francis Ngannou's hands. Really, they do, actually. When I watch that face-off, I see two very confident fighters, both in Joshua and in Ngannou. Now, with Ngannou, he's fighting with a certain sense of freedom, and even kind of acknowledged that in the face-off, that he is going to the boxing, he's fought two of arguably the three best heavyweights in the world, and no one's really expected much out of him, so he's not really got any weight of expectation on his shoulder. Also, he has the PFL, which is obviously another branch of MMA, another promotion of MMA, I should say, that he's able to go back to that. I think his next fight will be in that. So he's kind of like, okay, I can kind of come and go and do what I please. I've got no weight on my shoulders, but I'm still going to perform. Now, you see fighters who come in with no weight on their shoulders. They give it all that. They talk up a good game. They say, I'm coming to win. I'm this, that, and the other. And they turn up and they literally are either looking for the canvas or they're just looking for a moral 12-round loss on points to say, well, at least they didn't get stopped. Brilliant. That's an achievement. The better achievement will be actually trying to win, or at least going out with your shield. So, but Ngannou, he's not like that. He's not cut from that same kind of cloth. He really is going to go in there and try, in my opinion, to get the win. And also, you got to bear in mind that if he wants a rematch with Fury, if he beats Anthony Joshua and say Fury comes to Usyk, well, there you got me. It's a massive. If it wasn't big before, it's massive then. So there's a lot to gain from this fight for Francis Ngannou, certainly. Now, why do I think he has a chance of winning this fight? Or what are my three reasons? I gave three reasons why I think Joshua will win, and here are the three reasons why I think Ngannou will win. Just because I give the three reasons, bear in mind, it's not me picking Francis Ngannou. These are just me looking at this fight and thinking, okay, this is one of the reasons why I think he could win. This is another, and this is another. So I have three reasons. Some of them may be obvious. Some of them maybe one did look at and think, maybe. Now, first reason is more about the fight and why I think that the way this fight is may actually favour Francis Ngannou, and that's purely the fact that this fight is a 10-rounder as opposed to a 12-rounder. Now, why is that crucial? Now, Joshua in the past has been someone who has struggled in fights, certainly to pace himself over the 12-round distance, although it's longer. Him and his opponent, it's going to be more a case of, okay, slow it down, bit of reserve, bit of time, let's wait, do this, etc. You can go through the gears, you can bring it back, etc. You can also come on and rally late. Now, in a 10 rounder, you've less time. You know, you don't have the 11th or the 12th. You have to go to 10, right? Now, Ngannou, against Fury, he came out boxing. I wonder against Anthony Joshua, is he going to look to set a pace? Ngannou, and this I guess ties in as well to the second reason why I think Francis Ngannou beats Anthony Joshua, which is also his strength and endurance. Don't underestimate what strength and endurance can do for you. When we go back to the 10 rounder. Now, Joshua in the past, whenever he's fought at a high pace or a pace has been set, or he's opened up on an opponent and not been able to get rid of them, well, look on screen. We saw what happened in round 5 against Vladimir Klitschko, a round in which he was actually, looked like he might be actually on the verge of stopping Vladimir Klitschko. He emptied the tank, he threw everything but the kitchen sink, and by the end of that round, Klitschko was almost, some would even say he was on the verge of stopping Anthony Joshua. Set up the knockdown in the next round. Anthony Joshua wasn't able to get the air back into his lungs. It wasn't even just that he needed to catch a second win. He needed several rounds off to be able to get that second win. It wasn't like give him a minute's rest or an extra round and he's good to go. It was late on in the fight before he was really able to say, okay, I can step on the gas again. So he needed that. In a 10 rounder where you're forced to work at a higher pace because you don't have as many rounds, if you get an early knockdown or if you lose a couple of rounds early on or if a guy just outworks you, you don't have the patience. I know some people say, well, it's only 2 more rounds. Don't underestimate that. Seriously, don't underestimate that. You look at someone like a George Groves throughout his career or early career. Adam Booth never put him in a 4-rounder. He always had him in a 6-rounder. Never fought a 4-rounder to George Groves. Why is that? Four rounds to 6 rounds. You could say, well, it's only 2 rounds. Makes a big difference. That could be the difference. Those 2 rounds could be the difference between you winning and losing. If a guy is not doing much else, but he's just outworking you, could be the difference. And with Ngannou, I think that, again, into the second point, the strength and endurance, I think he'll be able to set a pace in a 10-rounder. Will Joshua be able to, if there is a pace set, will he be able to go along with it? That I don't know. And I think the fact that he went into the Fury fight where everyone thought, myself included, that he would go and just swing, look for haymakers and set a pace. He didn't do that. Going into this fight, I think more people are looking at maybe saying, oh, is he going to try and box Joshua like he boxed Fury? That would play into Joshua's strengths, I believe. Going and setting a high pace, especially if you're durable, and the strength. You have to look at physical strength. Physical strength is something that a lot of people don't really take into the consideration. It's a massive deal. Someone like, here's a great example. Go back and look at Shannon Briggs, Lennox Lewis. I think it was 1997 they fought. You go back and look at that fight, and in my opinion, Lennox Lewis should have had a knockdown called against him in the first round because Shannon Briggs, near the end of that round, if it wasn't for the ropes, Lewis would have fell flat. You go back and look at that fight. Shannon Briggs early on, the faster guy, the more athletic guy. At that point, Briggs was in, I think, the 220s, I think he was. He was in the mid-220s thereabouts. And he was faster, he was more athletic, explosive. Lennox Lewis was, he was struggling a bit. But the power and the strength, more so the strength of Lennox Lewis. I think Shannon Briggs remarked that it was like walking into a brick wall against Lennox Lewis. It wore Briggs down. It fatigued them. And then by, I think it was the 5th or 6th round, Lewis was able to stop him. Don't underestimate how someone's physical strength can I don't want to say mentally, but physically and mentally can defeat someone. And Anthony Joshua is someone who is normally the stronger of the two. Normally. Ngannou against Fury, although he was actually the smaller guy in terms of weight, he was the smaller guy in terms of everything, but in terms of weight, he was smaller. It wasn't much, but he was still smaller. He was the stronger guy in there. No question. Now against Anthony Joshua, I would expect it to be the same. Maybe even a bigger discrepancy. Who knows? And it has me wondering, again, this is just me thinking, is Joshua going to look at that and think, okay, he's strong, he's very strong. I need to be even stronger than I am now. And I've often said that I think Joshua in the low 240s, perfect. Ideally in the 230s, ideally. But low 240s, perfect. I'm happy enough with that. In the 250s, God forbid the 260s, no. Just no on that. And if you're talking about a fight being fought at a high pace, i.e. a 10-rounder, against someone who is as strong and as durable as Ngannou, and you're coming in maybe in the mid-250s, 260s, that could end... That might not go well. So The fact that this fight is a 10 rounder, I think plays to Ngannou's strengths, and obviously his strength and durability. I think that that's going to be a big factor for Ngannou as well, especially if he can take some of Anthony Joshua's shots and set a pace that Joshua was uncomfy with. Yeah, we could have some problems. The final reason is quite simply Ngannou's punching power. Now, some people are going to say, well, Jill, in the octagon, the little 4-ounce mitts, anyone can be a puncher. But that, look at Conor McGregor when he actually, they made him out as though he was Julian Jackson. I know, I remember it well. But they made it out as though he was, a Julian Jackson type puncher. He really didn't have much else. And yeah, true that. I think with Ngannou, the power is more real there. I mean, I think at the end of the day, you take someone who's 270 pounds, like Ngannou weighs, and give him a free shot, they're going to knock most guys' teeth down their throat. You take any heavyweight, even a heavyweight that's not known as a big puncher, you give them a free shot, they're going to knock your teeth down your throat. Someone that size, it's going to hurt. It's definitely going to hurt, right? Now, Ngannou talks about that knockdown of Tyson Fury, and he often says that, if that was Joshua, he wouldn't have got back up. I tend to disagree with that. I don't know, I wasn't in there getting hit by him, thank God, but I tend to disagree and think, actually, I reckon if it was Joshua, he probably would have gotten up and probably would have been okay. With Joshua and Fury, both of them have been down, respectively, several times in their career, albeit Joshua's been down more by the one guy. Well, he was down three or four times against Andy Ruiz, 4 times against Andy Ruiz, down once against Klitschko. Fury's been down by Nevin Pikic, Cunningham, Wilder, and Ngannou. Unless I'm missing someone, I don't think I am. They're the times he's been down and he's been countered. Okay. Now, Deontay Wilder, we don't need to tell, we know, massive puncher, absolutely tremendous puncher, we know that. Ngannou, they say, on punch stat machines, he's this, that, and the other. Okay, that doesn't mean he's the hardest puncher in the world necessarily, but it means that he's definitely got a bit of pop there. Okay. Pikic and Cunningham, not the biggest punchers. Certainly not Steve Cunningham, not even a cruiserweight. The argument is who takes a shot better. I would say Joshua slightly takes a better shot, but it's not going to be much of a difference, not much of a muchness. But Fury, you can't even make a debate, recovers a lot quicker than Joshua does. That's apparent from the eye test. I mean, the guy's taking massive right hands off Deontay Wilder, down, back up, just like that, just like up. All right, my guy came to life quick. Guy like E.T. here, down 1 minute, up the next, risen from the dead. So Fury can be dropped, I should say, but to hurt him, really hurt him badly, you're gonna have to staple him to the ground. That's literally what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to nail him, staple him to the ground to keep him down. With Joshua, as I said, he can be hurt. And yes, he gets back up. But again, he needs time to recover. He needs several rounds to be able to catch, his senses again, as well as being fatigued. If Ngannou was able to land, and when you look back at the Fury fight, it's not just that one shot he landed. He landed several right hands. He was even able to counter Tyson Fury a couple of times. Now, I look at that and I think, okay, if he put more weight on some of those shots, if he maybe turns his fist a little bit quicker, if he lands a bit more correctly, it's going to cause some damage, serious damage. And against someone like Joshua, strength and punching power, a heavyweight, and a bit of durability, that can take you a long way. It can take you a long way, a heavyweight. And I'm looking at that thinking, if he drops Joshua, and Joshua is hurt, Francis Ngannou, is he a finisher? I think he might be. So that's what I'm looking at when I look at Ngannou, and they're my reasons. Quite frankly, the fact it's a 10-rounder means he can set a higher pace. I think he might swap the game plan up against Fury. He was the boxer against Joshua. And as well, maybe he's going to look at that and think, okay, maybe I'll let a few rounds go of being inactive. I'm not going to be as inactive this time. I'm going all out. The fact it's 10-rounder, his strength and durability, and his punching power. They're the 3 reasons why I think Francis Ngannou would beat Anthony Joshua. That's not to say it's my pick. That's not to say that. They're just the 3 reasons why I think he wins. I'll probably get my prediction video out Friday or Saturday, one or the other. Most likely we'll record it Friday evening. We'll try and get it out Friday evening as well. That is my thoughts on everything. Now, let me know yours in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoy doing these, I really do. For the big fights, they're brilliant. They're absolutely fantastic. Let me know. We have the big fight feel. I'm looking forward to it. We're getting there. Haven't done a watch along today, I reckon, and we're obviously going to be doing a watch along for this show. That goes without saying. Lads, I'll leave it there. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed recording it. Smash the like button if you did. Show your appreciation. Hit the old, hit the old like button. It's free. It takes 2 seconds. And link to boxing showtimes will be pinned in the chat as always. I hope you enjoyed it. Smash the like button. Hit subscribe. All that good stuff. Peace.